I'm Mike with Titan Machinery, part of All World Machinery Supply. I'm Service and Rebuild Manager. Today we're going to be talking about hydraulic valves, solenoids, and troubleshooting them. So here in front of me we have a hydraulic valve body of an Okamoto surface grinder. And mounted to the front we have two solenoids, one being the X and one being the Y axis control. Typically we come across two different issues in troubleshooting, one being hydraulic, two being electrical. First, we're going to look at hydraulic issues. First one being contamination. Contamination can come from coolant and other grinding debris getting into the oil. Contamination can lead to premature wear on your spools and ports of solenoid and gum and stick them up. In troubleshooting hydraulic issues with solenoids, first step would be to check your oil reservoir as well as the filter, looking at the condition of the oil and any potential contaminants within. If you are finding contamination within your oil, there's a very good chance that it's made its way into your solenoid. In troubleshooting a contaminated solenoid, we'll remove the coils from the solenoid, exposing the spring plunger end. One at a time, we'll depress the springs in hopes of manually operating the axis we are troubleshooting. Common causes for sticking solenoids due to contamination relate to the coils creating heat on the solenoid, slowly baking and cooking the contamination to the spools, sticking the solenoid together. To solve your contamination issues, first you'll want to start by draining the old oil and cleaning out the contamination within the reservoir. Secondly, we want to replace the filter. If necessary, you may need to run a system flush to clean out remaining contaminants. After replacing the oil and filter, we now move on to replacing the solenoid. While corners could be cut, it is not recommended to just clean the solenoid. Contamination and continuous wear of the components will lead to hydraulic bleed and inevitable failure of the component. Replacing your solenoid can be a very simple and straightforward process. Begin by removing the thumb screw at the end, sliding off the cup and coil. With an Allen key, remove the mounting screws, and the solenoid is released. To install the new solenoid, look at the back if there is a locating pin, match up to the valve body, reinstall the mounting screws to factory spec torque, replace your coils, and simply tighten the lock nut. Taking a closer look at the electrical components of the hydraulic solenoid, we'll want to begin by removing the nut at the end, sliding the coil cup off of the solenoid, removing the cover cap, and inspecting the solenoid coil. We're looking for any sort of discoloration, cracking, or damage to the coil housing, as well as the wires in connection to the coils. Very commonly, due to heat and exposure to petroleum product, wires can become brittle over time. In troubleshooting the coil, we'll want to begin with our multimeter with the machine power off, checking the ohms, resistance of the coil, as well as the supply voltage, whether it be a DC 24 or possibly a 100 volt AC coil. If the coil is good and does not need to be replaced, we'll check the connections, looking at the wires for any potential break and short within the electrical circuit. If necessary, we will remove the coil connections, trim the wire back to fresh, softer material, or worst case, replace the cable entirely. If you are experiencing any of these issues, please give us a call at All World and we'll be happy to get your machine back up and running in no time.